What's going on, people? Eddie Carrington, Mayor of Flux City, and today it is really wet outside. The rain is coming down pretty heavy over here on the east side of Detroit. I just got finished with my OAC meeting with the GC, and that's where we have an opportunity to talk through progress of the overall project. And so we today had a conversation about when the painting is going to start. We have some flooring being installed, so we got an update on that. We were able to talk a little bit about when the concrete is going to be poured in the parking lots, as well as when the elevator install is going to start. But for the most part, we're coming along. Progress is progressing at this point, to a point where it is a realistic chance that we're going to have our first, my flimsy tripod tipped over in my truck here. But yeah, for the most part, we're coming along. A lot of good progress, and we're getting closer to that finish line on this project. And so I'm really happy that you've been with me pretty much for the entirety of this project. And overall, I'm learning what is best to share with the subscribers and followers of my channel, and what may not necessarily bring you as much value as at one point of time I thought it would. So really kind of experimenting with what I can share with you with this project, with the intent to hopefully have another project that allows for me to take my subscribers and followers of this channel in on a even more deeper dive of how a development actually progresses over time, from the idea phase to the completion phase. And so thinking through what that looks like for the future is something that is constantly on my mind as I continue to share these weekly episodes with you. How can I make these episodes better? In conjunction to the weekly episodes, is there a way to add even more opportunity for you to be able to follow along from a low level how to redevelop a site? As you can hear, the rain is really coming down on top of this truck here. And it's funny because I had somebody comment in one of my videos and I was highlighting me riding the bus from the west side to the east side, and somebody commented that, hold on, let me tell you what it was. So the comment was somewhere along the lines of, you took the bus, but how many cars do you own? Stop pocketing all of that grant money. And I found that comment to be quite humorous, because I don't own a lot of cars. I actually own one vehicle, and it's a 1994 Ford Ranger. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't believe that I'm driving a 30-year-old vehicle, but yes, I'm driving a 30-year-old car. And this is it. This is the vehicle that I drive daily. And for whatever reason, people think that I'm sitting on a ton of cash, and I've made a ton of cash off of this project in particular. But even though this is an $8 million project, I've actually made more money off single-family fix and flips than I've made off of this project that I'm working on now in East English Village. And that's because I had to pretty much defer a majority of my development fee due to the fact that I'm not able to bring a ton of cash to the table. I don't have a rich uncle. I didn't have a lot of relationships with banks and people with money that would in turn be willing to give me $1 million in order to put into this project as equity. I don't have a lot of assets, not enough to be able to cover the required equity that typically is required in order to get a project such as what I'm working on now to the closing table. But at the end of the day, this project took me, I'm at roughly 4.5 years from idealization to where we're at now. And in totality, I probably have pulled from this project and from the funds around $40,000, maybe a little bit less. So let's say $40,000 I've made off of this project, because I didn't necessarily make that. It's coming from a loan that I ultimately need to pay back over time. But this $40,000 development fee that I'm getting from this project over the span of 4 years, 4+ years, countless hours of dreaming about what this site would look like, and then constructing an RFP, working with the city, working with the community in many various ways, whether it be permitting, talking with city council, getting abatements passed, working with the funding partners and figuring all of that stuff out. I mean, at the end of the day, not to mention when you close on the construction loan, dealing with your GC, your architect, being on site pretty much daily in order to make sure that things are being constructed the way that the plans set out for this site to be constructed as. It's a lot of time, energy, and effort when it comes to developing outside of the downtown and midtown area of Detroit. It's a lot of work, and you, once again, don't usually see a ton of money come your way. You're hoping that the cash flow is what is close to what you're projecting, and in order for you to hopefully be able to cover your debt service and have some money to live off of once all of the bills are paid off at that point. And you're also hoping for appreciation over time when it comes to the redevelopment of sites such as the one that I've been having you walk with me through over the last year plus, right? But at the end of the day, you'd be shocked if a developer actually opened up their books and showed you how much money they're making off of a project in many cases, especially when we're talking about a developer doing a project in the city of Detroit. These projects are extremely challenging to get to a point where you're actually constructing them, because a majority of the projects won't be worth what it costs to build them. And so you need a ton of gap money in order to basically plug that hole that you more than likely will have when it comes to constructing sites outside of single family, duplexes, fourplexes, things of that nature. So really want everybody to know, if you're still watching the video and you don't mind listening to me ramble here and there, these types of projects don't really make you a ton of money up front. And so it's a true labor of love when it comes to putting something like this in motion. Yay! We got the lease agreement signed. That's what I'm talking about. Lanika, talk to us about your concept that you're interested in putting into the ribbon.
Since I've been within the fitness industry for the past 5 years with this beautiful young lady here, Fit Theorem in Livonia, I have discovered that I have a passion for helping people discover their fullest potential, mostly mindset, spiritually and physically. I fell in love with yoga, but I am a certified group fitness instructor and a personal trainer. I teach kickboxing and kettlebell, so I know a lot of different types of ways to move the body, to build muscle, and to essentially build a lifestyle of fitness and nutrition through consistency, accountability, mindset, and then nutrition. So since I've gained a lot of insight and I've gone through my own personal challenges with health and being a Black woman, I discovered that there are a lot of generational things that the Black community kind of adopts, not realizing that it's just not the healthiest for us. And learning how to incorporate nutrition into your lifestyle is hard these days, especially if you're balancing multiple different things, family, work, everything full time. You have kids and you're trying to get them together too. So I just wanted to create a space where people could slow down, take the time to appreciate, express gratitude, but also learn about themselves and kind of how to control their mindset or understand a mindset that works for them within their lifestyle around fitness and nutrition. And I'm understanding that that's not going to look the same for everybody. Everyone's a little bit different. Whether you struggle with diabetes or whether you just have maybe ADHD, like literally so many different mental things, physical things can just knock you off and throw you off track. And I just wanted to create a space where people can be vulnerable and they can take the time to be more self-aware and learn about themselves as an individual first, so they know how to pour into themselves in order to pour it into others. And I think that nutrition is the base of it all. So I'm here to just make that process easier and give people an outlet where they can feel safe and support it.
Awesome.
This lady's right here is going to bring energy to this place, to this block, and longevity. And I'm just so excited because it's expanding on a mission that you and I are both really passionate about. And to see you have grown from being not even near fitness or any kind of fitness leader to literally being such a beacon of light that you cannot be contained and you needed to expand. So I know she's going to build a huge community here. She's going to get traffic and people out of their houses and wanting to be together again. And she makes it fun. So she's the right girl. I'm so excited for you.
Mr. Hughley, any thoughts?
Well, it's my daughter, I'm proud of her. I know whatever she puts her mind to do, she can do it. And I know she'll be successful at it.
Absolutely. Can you at least show me like an easy yoga pose, like right now? Like, and I'll,
Easy one?
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so to celebrate the newly signed lease, we're about to do some yoga.
Okay. So we can do something as simple as tree pose. So you can start in a standing position, feet are about shoulder width apart.
Okay.
You can bring your arms straight up. I can't because my jacket's
That's
so
fine.
tight.
Yep, yep.
But arms come up. You're gonna put one foot on the inside of the leg. So you can either put it here or above, and arms come straight up, or at heart center. And
Okay.
that is your tree pose. I'm
Okay.
trying not to touch my foot to my leg.
So does this foot have to be vertical?
Yes,
like,
it'll be vertical normally
Okay.
against anything except the knee, and your goal is to open the hip and work on balance. That was good. That was a good try.
Good, we gotta do the other side though.
A lot of people just don't understand how hard it is for a landlord to source the right tenant for their commercial space. And even if you were to hire a broker or an agent to kind of list a space, it's still really, really challenging to track down the right commercial tenant for your space in 2024. Most people, when it comes to small businesses, most small businesses more specifically, aren't necessarily jumping into brick and mortar as they once did back in the 90s or early 2000s. A lot has changed with regard to consumer behavior just in general. But luckily I was introduced to via the farmers markets that we did at the initial site back in 2020, when she would sell jewelry, and she always had fitness in mind when it comes to the crystals and other things that she'd craft into jewelry, ultimately hovering around that health benefit of certain objects that you wear. But she also has an amazing skill set when it comes to kickboxing, yoga, shadow boxing. A really, really unique business owner, to a point where I'm really excited to kind of see her expand her business, her brand in our space. So can't wait to get us to a point where we're celebrating her opening day. We still got a lot of work to do, right? We got architectural renderings that we need to have done, construction drawings, getting us ultimately to a point where we're pulling permits, making sure her financing is in order outside of the tenant improvement monies that we're putting in on our end, and also being hopeful that she qualifies for certain grants that city businesses can have access to. But ultimately, this is a huge win for this space over on the east side called The Ribbon. So I can't wait to once again celebrate her grand opening in this envelope. And with that said, I'll stop rambling, and I just appreciate you chiming in and celebrating this victory and this win with Lanika and myself. Her first official brick and mortar space, and I have a tenant. I have a tenant for the commercial space. Still waiting to have conversations with certain food services that we've been back and forth with when it comes to getting them to get their lease agreement signed. But at the very least, having the ability to have Lanika and Aura Vibes as part of the overall programming of the space, I'm super excited. So I'll see you in next week's video, and that's it for Flux City Weekly. Talk to you soon.